while the attendees are populating, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. I have 7:03. We do have an amendment to the agenda, adding in 6D and C. What were those specifically, Ron?
If we could add the donation of property to 6C.
That's right.
And the purchase to 6D.
6D, yeah. So do we have a motion?
Move to approve the agenda as amended by staff.
I'll second it.
Vote by roll call.
Oh, that's what I forgot to do. I didn't print out my roll call thing. Okay, we're gonna do this. We can do this without that. Counselor Caceres,
Aye.
Counselor Seha,
Aye.
Counselor Lee, Counselor Sini,
Aye.
Counselor Wick,
Aye.
Counselor Ecclestone, I almost forgot.
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger.
Aye.
That motion passes.
All right, so first order of business, we have the 2022 Planning Commission appointments. We have three vacancies coming up and 3 people applying, so did anybody have an issue with any of the candidates that they don't think they should be nominated? Because otherwise, I'm going to say we just do all 3 in one quick vote.
We do have one of them on the call right now, Courtney Brennan. So if
Okay.
anyone had any questions, they're here to answer those.
Did anybody have any questions?
I'd like to thank Courtney for
Sorry.
doing this, please.
Well, can we get a motion?
I
Move to
move
approve
to
the-
appointment of the 3 candidates for the
I'll second it.
position.
Vote by roll call.
Counselor Caceres,
Aye.
Counselor Seha,
Aye.
Counselor Ecclestone,
Aye.
Counselor Lee, Counselor Sini,
Aye.
Counselor Wick,
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger.
Aye.
Motion passes.
There we go, quick and easy. Public comment. I'm seeing 2 people in the attendees. If you have any comments to make, you can just click that fancy little button to raise your hand. I see no hands being raised. No visitors, so consent agenda. Everybody get a chance to read through the minutes and all that. Then we wanted to see about canceling the December 27th meeting. Usually we cancel the one right before Christmas anyway. And we're not tracking anything of importance to be on the agenda at all. Does anybody object to that? Can I get a motion to approve, or just a motion?
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All right, vote by roll call.
Counselor Caceres,
Aye.
Counselor Seha,
Aye.
Counselor Ecclestone,
Aye.
Counselor Lee, Counselor Sini,
Aye.
Counselor Wick,
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger.
Aye.
Motion passes.
No public hearing, no old business, new business, SDC annual report. Go ahead, Ron.
This is just your system development charge annual report spread across the various system development charge funds that we have. And there's a state requirement that we present this report to the council of all the income and expense related to system development charges once a year. There's no action. This is just for your to preview and information, but we just have to make the reports available to council and to the public. So here they are in your packet, and information only at this point.
Cool. Did anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, any of that with our SDCs? Moving on. Proposal for water rights, GSI Solutions, West Tech Engineering. Ron, or are we having Matt? Is he popping in the room?
Matt is here, and I'll go ahead and give a report, but we can go ahead and bring Matt into the into the discussion. But basically what this is, as you know, we've hired a consultant, GIS, to help us get our water right portfolio organized, to get the point of withdrawals reapplied for so that we're able to pump the amount of water rights that we currently have. And there was some work that really needed to be done with some of the certificates that we have to true them up. So this is a continuation of that work. So it's the same contract. All we're going to do is amend the contract and add task 6, which is $9,450. We have money to pay for that. See, this is, I think this is this task they're actually going to be applying to amend those water rights. That's right. Is that correct, Matt?
Yeah, the charge is for GSI and West Tech to go ahead and turn in the application for the additional 400 gallons per minute water right that we have available for the 2 wells that they've identified in Mill Creek Park and Porter Boone Park in their well siting study.
So council's going to get a complete report on this next month, but we previewed this earlier where we talked to council. We went through all the water right history. We told council what we were looking at as far as the new reservoir and the point of withdrawal for the 2 new wells. We're trying to get a little bit of a jump on these projects because a lot of infrastructure money, that infrastructure bill passed and money is being available. So typically we wouldn't apply for this certificate change until after we drilled the wells and found out there was water there. We're fairly certain that there is water there. So we're taking a little bit of risk, but you're going to see this as a theme over the next few months, because what we're trying to do is prepare ourselves to be in the best position to get some of that infrastructure funding and even some of the ARP funding that's out there right now can be used for these projects. And we're trying to position the city to leverage as much as that as we possibly can. The process to transfer rights is between 18 and 24 months if everything goes right. And so timing is real critical here for us. And the ARP funds have to be committed by the end of 2024. So we're rounding 2022 in a couple of weeks, which means we've got 24 months, right? So it's the timing. We're looking at the timing of all these things to position ourselves to be in the best position to get those funds. And we're working with our city engineer. We'll be coming back to council at the next meeting with some discussions to actually have them pre-engineer some stuff for the city. Because again, the closer we are to shovel readiness, is going to put us ahead of the line for some of these funding opportunities.
Well, we have a motion.
I move to approve West Tech authorization of West Tech Engineering to proceed with the addition of task 6 as described in the staff report on the proposal from GSI Solutions, Inc. for water rights support. Project fees not to exceed $9,450 from funds 028-626 water improvements and water SDC 024-626.
Seconded.
Go by roll call.
Counselor Casares,
Aye.
Counselor Seha. Aye. Counselor Lee. I'll come back. Counselor Ecclestone.
Aye.
Okay,
Scott's giving us a thumb up.
I see that. Counselor Wick,
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger.
Aye.
Did I miss anyone?
Yes,
Counselor Sini.
yes.
Okay.
All right,
And the
so
motion
moving on, we've got 6C. Take it away, Ron.
So this was added to your agenda. What this is a piece of property that borders Porter Boone Park on the north side. And the property was required to be donated to the city back in 2017 as part of a notice of decision for an apartment complex. Well, as we know, the apartment complexes were never constructed. But the owner would like to do the donation anyway. If he ends up moving forward with construction or selling part of the property off, this would be required. And I'm not sure that there's an imminent project or deal, but I think he just wanted to go ahead and do the donation before the end of the year. He may or may not receive some tax benefit for the donation, but I think that's the motivation. So we have an agreement that our city attorney drafted in front of you, which is really just a straight property donation. There is some due diligence that we need to do before we can close. We do need to pull a title report. And our city attorney would like the dedication to be crafted a certain way. So basically, if you approve of this donation, there's no cost to the city except for whatever it costs for us to execute the donation, the contracts, the title reports and things of that nature. It's about 3.62 acres, I believe. And it is wetland, just like our park is extremely wet right now, is wetland. So it's really just additional open space, but we do have some versatility of how we can use open space. And there is always the opportunity for us to do wetland mitigation if we want to construct a building or a facility of some kind there. So it can be used. That tends to be a little spendy, but not out of the question. And the motion that I'm looking for tonight is for the city administrator to be able to sign the agreement and to be able to close, sign all the closing documents to execute this contract. And typically we would sign the agreement and maybe have an elected official, the mayor, do the closing. But because we've got 2 weeks before the end of the year and he really wants to execute this before the end of the year, if the mayor's available, I'll drag him over to sign a document, but if not, I'd like to have authorization to do that.
I mean, if I have to get out of bed and put pants on, I may not be available.
I'm on vacation, but I did say I would make sure it happens. So.
I can make it happen, Ron. Does anybody have any concerns with this? Do we have a motion?
Move to authorize the city administrator to sign off on the agreement for donation of real property, Jerry Flowers, and to be able to close the deal as presented.
I'll second that.
Go by roll call.
Counselor Casares,
Aye.
Counselor Seha,
Aye.
Counselor Ecclestone,
Aye.
Counselor Lee, Counselor Sini,
Aye.
Counselor Wick,
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger, yes, Clevenger, sorry.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, 6D.
All right, and as council was previewed earlier about this, this is a property purchase. The agreement is a property purchase, and it's a very small piece of property. It's adjacent to our current 1 million gallon reservoir site. And the reason why we're purchasing this is so that the city has the flexibility as we complete our studies for the new reservoir and wells, that we could have the option to actually site another 1 million gallon reservoir in the same location. We like this option to be available to us because potentially it could end up lowering the overall cost of this project by $1 million+ by siting it there, as far as we've already got a lot of infrastructure in place there. And so that's where we're headed. We've got a couple of small technical studies that we have to do as far as fire flow and system analysis, and we're doing those before we come forward with a final recommendation. But we want to make sure that this option is available for the amount of money that it's costing us. It's a good use of city fund to have that flexibility and potentially could save us, like I say, $1 million+ dollars. If council agrees to this, all we'll be asking you to do is to execute this purchase and sell agreement. This allows the city to do its due diligence on the property, to do the survey, and to go ahead and file a new plat and then execute the final closing on this particular property. And again, we would ask for a motion to the agreement and to close on the property once all the appropriate documents are prepared. And on this particular one, I will drag Mayor Clevenger to the famous closing signing ceremony over at First American Title.
I'm pretty sure I can be there. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, any of that kind of stuff? Because we did, previously discuss this one a little bit. All right, do we got a motion?
I move to approve the signing of the contract with Bartos for the purchase of the property next to our property as proposed.
Second.
Vote by roll call.
Counselor Casares,
Aye.
Counselor Seha. Aye. Counselor Ecclestone,
Aye.
Counselor Lee,
Aye.
Counselor Sini,
Aye.
Counselor Wick,
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Cool. Ron, your report, please.
Yeah, so in my report, I think most of it I'll just skip over. You can read the report there. Just, I will announce that I did read that our first new strain of COVID has been detected. I think the mayor said 3 cases today. They reported in Oregon. I think we're going to see that be the common or dominant strain in not too far off future, which may or may not be a good thing. As far as the COVID is concerned, typically we start to see a little bit of a regression. That's been the trend the last couple of years. Right after Christmas, it starts to drop in cases, and then usually around March, we start to see a pickup in the trend. So I don't know that it's going to be any different than that, but the last 2 years, that's been the trend. And we just keep working. We've had a few cases in the city. We've had protocols in place to limit spread so that we can have continuity of operations. And I think the city's done an admirable job. I think the staff has done a great job in responding to this pandemic for all intensive purposes. And so we continue to watch it, and we'll act and adjust as we need it. Council retreat, I wanted to talk to council about the retreat. The staff has a number of, there'd be ideas that we could bring forward to council related to your goals. I kind of feel like this might be a year, we did this a couple of years ago where we threw some hypotheticals out there. Some of those we're still working on that council was interested in. And so we could either do that during a Saturday and do more of a longer term retreat. I don't have anything outside of strategic planning unless you have something specific that we can work on. But I'm kind of thinking maybe an evening work session towards the end of January. I want to do something before the mayor goes on his next trip, which I believe is middle of February.
As it sits right now, I should be flying out on the 15th of February.
15th. So I think we could schedule it in really any day during the week and do about a 3-hour session, go over some of those lists. We've already, we've got some money in the current fiscal budget that aligns with some of those goal ideas in the event that council wants to leverage those. And really just talk about how some things are shaping up in context. And when I say things, I don't mean water, sewer, infrastructure related projects, because you're going to get to hear plenty of that all by itself on some work session nights in January. But I was thinking of things like, you know, ideas around little projects, community events, some park upgrades, things like that that really fit within kind of that feel good goals, you know, feel good projects. And just wanted to get your feedback if you think we need something longer than 3 hours, or if you're willing to do 3 hours, or what you'd like to see there.
Is 3 hours going to be enough?
I think 3 hours for what we have lined up.
I'm fine with it.
Are you going to be there?
Am I going to be there?
No. Sorry, I'm looking at the mayor. He's right over your head from my angle. Yeah.
I mean, I should be.
Okay.
If we're talking about doing it before the middle of February, then yeah.
I feel like you're going to be gone for Valentine's, so you might not get any input.
I mean, I'm not going to do anything for Valentine's Day.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
unless you're free, Doug. What you got
Okay.
going on?
I am free.
Yeah, it'll probably be maybe the fourth Wednesday in January or the first Wednesday in February would be the dates I'd look at, but we'll send something out by email to make sure everybody's open that evening and run through everything.
All right.
Yeah, I would think erring towards doing it a little bit sooner might be better, just in case there is anything that we have to action so that it doesn't pop up while I'm gone.
So I don't know what my schedule is going to be, but I might be able to attend regardless.
The fourth Wednesday in January, the 26th.
Is that good for everybody?
No,
No? Okay.
I'm not available on Wednesdays. I have youth group.
We could do a Tuesday. You want to
Tuesday.
do
Tuesday works better for me.
Tuesday's better for you?
Anybody else?
Tuesdays.
I mean, I wouldn't have known what day it was today if I hadn't written it down, so
Yeah.
anything's fine.
As long as we schedule it before the next ice storm, that'd be great.
So the 25th, do you think?
I'm available. I don't know. About
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay. And then is council okay if we start that at, what would be the earliest that council would be available to start that? Because remember, it's 3 hours, so.
I think 6:30 at the very least should be a start time, because it does take me a little bit to get here depending on whether I'm coming from Woodburner, so.
Are you guys all good with that?
So I am 3 hours ahead of you guys. I just need to know what time. I'm good with either way. I'm on night shift.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on night shift, 6:30 shouldn't be too bad, right? Yeah, okay.
No,
Yeah,
no, no.
we shoot for 6:30 on the 25th, and if something pops up and changes, we can see about tweaking it.
Yeah, I'll be ready to go so we can pivot.
Cool.
Good. All right.
So let's plan on that for now.
Ron, are you gonna send that on an email?
Yeah, we'll send it out on an email.
Okay, I'll make sure I'll be there.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting our audio through. I'm having a little trouble. I don't think they're coming through these speakers over here. I only hear it over there.
Hmm.
So, okay, infrastructure funds. That's really just that discussion we had earlier. We're going to take a little bit of risk. That's our strategy going forward, to try to capture as much opportunity with these funds as possible. But it's work that has to be done anyway. So the only difference is we might have been able to pay for some of the work through grants that we're going to end up using some city dollars, but I think it's going to make our grant applications more successful. So holiday closures, we are closed on the 23rd and 24th for Christmas, the 23rd at City Hall is a floating holiday. Is that right? Is it the 23rd or the 24th and 5th?
Typically, we would have the 24th and 25th off.
Oh, but it's on the weekend.
Right.
Okay, yeah,
It's on
okay.
Saturday.
So, because it's on the weekend, we either have to move it up or back a day.
Yeah.
So City Hall will be closed those 2 days, and then January 3rd, we chose January 3rd instead of rolling it back to the 31st, only to keep the holidays in the same year.
Yeah.
And so those will be our closure dates. The UGB work group, some of you came to the open house that we had. I would encourage council to get online as well and fill out our little surveys, just so that it's part of the public record, because the surveys become part of our application. We have a technical advisory committee that'll be meeting again, I think on the 9th of February, talking about our applications. You know, we have had a lot of outside interest trying to influence, you know, smaller lots and things like that as part of the UGB needs assessment. But I'm trying to keep it focused on UGB expansion. That's where we're paying the money to get more ground, not to tell us how to develop ground we already have. So I'm trying to keep that message out there. And that's really it for that. The only discussion I had was that email that I sent out today about Christmas in the park. We kind of looked at the weather. I don't think Saturday is any better for an outside event. I don't think we can predict it to be any more pleasant. This Saturday, if we tried to change it, we'd kind of like to do something, and we do have some perishable supplies. So I think what the staff would like to do is on Saturday, we're doing the Christmas store. The Exchange Club is doing the Christmas store here. And it starts at 9 a.m. And what we thought is it should be either slowed down or concluded by noon. And we thought we'd advertise is to do kind of a drive up thing out in front of the city hall here, where people could drive up and get a hot dog and some Christmas swag for free. We've got hats for the kids, and, you know, little antlers and headbands with snowmen on them and things like that. And the car could drive up, and we could talk to them and give them some treats and wish them a Merry Christmas and take a few photos and hand them a few hot dogs, let them have a free lunch. That would be the easiest and most pleasant to execute, because we don't have to set anything up. We've got a nice new kitchen there, and we could be indoors. But we could also do something Friday evening down at the park and set up free hot dogs and do the giveaway stuff there as well. We wouldn't do entertainment. We wouldn't do what we planned to do last Saturday, because we just can't get everybody back another Saturday. So we just want to hear what your preference is.
I really don't care as long as we do something.
Yeah, I agree. I think your idea of throwing hot dogs at everybody is a pretty good idea. That, you know, that way you said that would be easiest for you guys, and that's something I think is important. Getting something done. Let us know what you need us to help with.
Yeah, you guys are welcome to come. You could talk to the folks in the cars. I don't know how many people would show up for it. It's just one of those things we've never really done anything like that. I don't think it's going to be any less people than would come to the park for a scaled down, you know, event. So it's really up to you guys. It's just what you think you want to see us execute. I wish we had more control over the weather. I have to tell you that you can ask staff. We were ramping up for this event. This was to be, you know, one of our, we were going to top our last Christmas in the park event, regardless of what else was happening. And we've been talking about the details every day and focused on it. It's kind of a bummer that it worked out this way, but At the same time, what I really appreciate and admire is our community's reaction to it. And that just shows you that all of the stuff that we're doing has had a really positive impact because people were very supportive and understanding. And I think anything that we do, people would appreciate.
Anytime I don't get yelled at, it's a good day.
Yeah, and I do appreciate the mayor's video. He didn't have to lay all the blame on his shoulders, but I do appreciate leadership, standing up and going out and addressing the community like that. So thank you for that, Mayor.
Anything else, Ron?
Did you guys give directions or?
I think we all gave the head nod on the hot dogs.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So Saturday's fine for you? Okay,
Yeah.
we'll get something on social media and we'll probably try to put together kind of a virtual tree lighting. We'll take last year's virtual tree lighting. Maybe we can get the mayor to do a updated video snippet to put in there. And
I did buy a new Christmas suit that I didn't get to wear, so I'm
well,
down.
this will be your opportunity. We do have some other reports in your packet there. I think you've got the police report. If there's any questions there, Public Works report. We have been dealing with a lot of lost water in our system. That's in your report, and Public Works is working on a number of projects to try to address that. Just know that we're looking at all those things. Other than that, I really don't have anything else except wish you all a good holiday season, and I'll be in and out. If you need me, all you gotta do is give me a ring.
One thing I did see, Ron, that I think you might have skipped over was, I think you noted here about your evaluation.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't know if council wanted to do that or not. It's been 2 years since I've been evaluated. If you wanna, I know you had talked the last time that you'd like to talk amongst yourselves and assign somebody to do that. I'm happy to work with them with the forms and get everything together if they'd like to do that. My preference is to go through the state of the city because it kind of culminates the work that we've done. And I have to tell you, it's pretty impressive this year. Not that I should get credit for that because obviously that's the work that we do collectively, but it's nice to kind of see everything in context. But we can certainly get that process started. And under my contract, it does suggest that we do an evaluation before March 1st or March, I think maybe it's March 15th of each year. And if you'd like to do one, let me know and I'll help you out, get the forms.
We absolutely want to do one. I mean, I was pretty adamant last time, the evaluations are something that we need to be doing. And that's, for your good and for ours. Who did we have doing it last time? Was that you, Della?
Yeah, we had said that we were going to have Angie do the next one.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to sit down with her and go through the forms and tell her what she needs to do and stuff.
Yeah, that would be fantastic if you two can get together and then maybe poke at Ron a little bit and figure out if we're missing anything or what we can do to make sure we're covering all our bases on that. That'd be fantastic. And then I don't know, maybe that's something that we can, as far as the council as a whole, our portion of it, maybe we can roll that into that work session, Ron.
Yeah, I think what I would do this year is I might just adjust some of the evaluation criteria in the form. We've just been using the same generic criteria that we use for all staff, but there probably is some performance related scoring that should occur with my evaluation. And I was just going to revamp that a little bit. But otherwise, yeah, I think the same process has worked out really well.
Yeah, let's make that happen, please. All right. Go to the order and council reports. We got anything? Nobody, nothing.
We've been meeting with the MWAC Transportation Commission, and we're gonna be setting up the first of the year to start reviewing projects and scoring them. So if you want to go on that website I gave you guys earlier and let me know if you have anything you want me to say on something, let me know, because that'll be starting in January.
Anybody got anything else? All right. Well, then correspondence, we had the planning commissioner resignation. That was Matt Curran. He moved out of town, so he resigned. That was one of the positions we filled today. So I don't know if technically we should have accepted the resignation before we filled it, but whatever. It's done. But no, Matt had actually sent me a message and said, he really appreciated being appointed on the planning committee, and he enjoyed his time there and learned a lot. And that he, him resigning was purely just because he moved out of town. And I said, hey, we appreciate having you. Yeah, if there's nothing else, we can go ahead and adjourn the meeting. I've got 7:39.